Linear regression. Now what will you learn? For a linear relationship, I use the least squares regression line to model the pattern in the data and to make predictions. So we will use a regression analysis in order to predict a certain outcome based on certain predictors. So linear regression, when do we use it? Linear regression is a statistical method used to predict the value of the dependent variable based on the values of the independent variables. Now here are some of the examples when linear regression might be utilized. Now we want to predict the price of a house based on its size, number of bedrooms and location. So we can predict the price of the house based on these three predictors. And to do so, we can use linear regression. We can predict sales revenue based on marketing expenditure, competitor activity, and economic indicators. Obviously, for this, we need previous data. For example, I want to predict the sales for 2023. So I need data for 2022, 2021, 2020, and previous maybe 10, 15, 20 years in order to predict my data or my sales for this particular year. Now, estimating the probability of default on a loan based on the characteristics of the borrower. And those characteristics include credit score, annual income, debt to income ratio. And you can determine the relationship between student test scores and the number of hours they spend studying. And finally, another example could be, well, let's say I've collected data through a survey and I've asked people questions about their student satisfaction, how responsible their university is, how good the service is, how good the leadership is, and then based on that, I can predict the student satisfaction using the scores of university social responsibility, service quality, and university leadership. Now these are the previous scatter plots that we have done, and they were this one, the top one, and the bottom one. These were done in R. So how do we make the predictions? Now earlier we examined the linear relationship between vision and performance. Suppose we want to predict organizational performance based on how well the vision is communicated within the organization. How could we make a prediction using the linear pattern in the data? Here again the scatter plot of vision and organizational performance. Now here they are. Our first step is to model the pattern in the data with a line. Now look at this. This is the line. Now if you look here, as you increase the score of vision, the score for organizational performance tends to increase. So if you look at these data points here, these are high organizational performance points. And at the same time, you've got high vision score here as well. To use this line to make prediction, we find the point on the line with an x value of 6. Where is x value of 6? Here it is. Simply trace from 6 directly up the line. Let's go up the line. Now, majority of the points are around this line here. So this shows, and look at all these points here. Now look at these points here, these lines, these points here, these points here. They're around here, this line here. And these are higher organizational performance at high vision. So when you increase the vision score, your organizational performance tends to increase. Now here is the basic idea. The closer the line is to all the data points, the better the line summarizes the pattern in the data. Notice when the line is close to the data points, it gives better predictions. A good prediction means the predicted y value from the line is close to the actual y value for the data point. Now here, your data points are more or less very close to this line. And most of the time we can see that when the score of vision is increasing, there is a higher score for OP. So vision can be referred to as a good predictor for organizational performance.